Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm honestly just tired and fed up. I'm seeing so many of you, my internet kids, so upset and hurt by what's going on in a game that we all love, Dress to Impress. I've watched this community grow and I've seen the passion that you all have, and to watch the developers repeatedly drop the ball like this is honestly infuriating. I've been playing this game for over a year because my daughter Missy Sissy, who you guys know and play games with, introduced me to this game, and at the time it seemed like a friendly, calm, chill game where people could just dress up, show off their fashion skills, and do stuff like that together with friends. I've watched this community grow, I've seen the passion that you all have, and this isn't just a game anymore, it's a community. And what we've seen over the last few days isn't just a mistake anymore. There's no more excuses. This is straight up a pattern of not caring. This isn't about accusations, this is about reporting what the community has been saying and what we've all been seeing, and holding people accountable for their actions. So let's talk about the Dress to Impress drama, because this is getting ridiculous and I'm pissed. This story starts with the Lady Gaga Mayhem update for Dress to Impress. The game itself originally was created by a small team that included developers Gigi, Owen, DR Beneficial, and Choopy, and it was a viral hit. The concept was simple. You get a theme, you get a few minutes to create an outfit, and then you walk the catwalk to be judged by other players. It's a game that has drawn in millions of players, originally breaking records that nobody had seen broken before on Roblox, old and young, and it's become a cultural phenomenon. Building on that success, the team a year later, after the Gigi incident, announced that a massive collaboration with super pop star Lady Gaga would be the centerpiece of a new live meet and greet, quote unquote, and Q&A session with the singer herself. They hyped it up, telling everyone this event was made for, quote unquote, every single person on Roblox, not just influencers, but then they decided that, an unspoken disclaimer that nobody would be made aware of would come to play. Not everyone will have a chance to meet Lady Gaga, but everyone will have a chance to witness the events in QA. 1 million people signed up for this thing, and what did we get? A bait and switch. When the day of the event actually arrived, the community's excitement turned into rage. Players discovered that the event wasn't a massive public server for everyone. Nope, it was a private invite-only session. Screenshots quickly leaked and were passed around social media, showing a room full of content creators and influencers, developers alike, with just a handful of regular players who had actually won a contest. The game that was built by its community turned its back on that same community in favor of a privileged few. It was a complete betrayal, and it made players feel like the developers had lied to their faces. A user on a fan forum summed it up perfectly, saying, "There should be way more fans and contest winners than devs and game influencers in that server right now." In the midst of all of this, B Plays, the community manager at the time, stepped in trying to salvage the situation. But B's apology did nothing but make things worse. She said, "We're very sorry for anyone who felt misled. Perhaps we should not have assumed that it would just be obvious to people that we couldn't get 500,000 players in one server. That's on us." That felt like she was blaming the community for having naive expectations. The community had already been raising concerns about Bplay's behaviors on her live streams from the night before, and players were also reporting that she had said things like TikTok brain kids who can't do anything for more than 30 minutes, accusing her own viewers and the people who play the game that she represented as a community manager of not being patient enough for an event that she had been streaming for 2 hours when she had said it. In the days following the event, the backlash against her intensified, with some people sending death threats and making transphobic remarks. She even made a public statement saying that she would be speaking to the police about the targeted harassment. Now, I'm going to break from what I wanted to say. Under no circumstances, no matter how mad you are about something somebody's done, is it okay to be transphobic or homophobic to anyone at any point in time. Let me be clear about that. Just one day after the event, co-developer Amoye made a public announcement on the game's Discord server stating that Bplays had been let go from the team. The announcement was a direct and stark apology to the community, saying B's actions do not reflect our game, our values, or the respect that we hold for our players. The anger from the event didn't stay contained in the game. It spilled over, boiling into a full-on community meltdown on the official Dress to Impress Discord. This wasn't just about the Lady Gaga event, this was the breaking point after a year of players feeling ignored and undervalued by the game developers that they had been so dedicated to. In the chaos that followed though, things got absolutely sickening. Many users, including minors, were suddenly exposed to hate speech, transphobia, homophobia, graphic gore images, and even pornography on the official Discord of Dress to Impress. And what were the moderators doing? According to what users were reporting, some of them allegedly refused to lock down the chat, even while people were begging for help. Some of the mods who were available said that every time that we lock down the server, we get in trouble for silencing the community. It felt like players themselves were fighting to protect their fellow community members more than the moderation team was. This went on for hours before the chat channels were finally locked down. It shows a complete failure of responsibility and a lack of basic human decency. Some attribute this to the fact that the moderation team is made up of mostly minors who have recently gone back to school full-time. And now the Discord chat has actually been locked for 12 straight hours. There has been no new information from HR or Amoye and no official update from the team. This silence after such a devastating event is not a good look. It leaves the door open for speculation and creates an environment where players feel completely abandoned and unprotected. But let's be real, this wasn't an isolated incident. This is a pattern of behavior. The community has been through this before. People online brought up past allegations against the game's creator, Gigi. These reports included claims that she was involved in a Discord server where underage users had been shared inappropriate images. Another developer from a similar game, It Girl, also accused Gigi of making fatphobic comments and joking about falsely accusing her of a serious crime. Gigi publicly denied some of these claims, but did admit to joking about the false accusations. Another thing that really upset players was they found out that during the Lady Gaga event, Gigi's character was inside of the game during the live stream that B was hosting on her YouTube channel. Everyone was under the assumption that Gigi was removed from DTI, the game in general, even though Gigi was the original creator, because of the accusations and the failure to protect minors who played her game. And what about the moderator named Ender? He was a moderator for DTI Discord server who, according to community reports, was banned after speaking out about DTI mods and staff allegedly talking crap on and poorly about the community behind their backs. This added to the feeling that the developers and their team were silencing dissent and were truly not listening to their players. It's the same story over and over again. To add another layer of distrust, a theory started to circulate that the winners of the Lady Gaga contest, Wiseblood, Zvezdak, and Daisy Luna 97 were rigged and had secret ties to the developers or other influencers. While I can tell you that there's no public information that back up these specific claims, this is just the textbook example of what happens when a community's trust is completely broken by the people who are supposed to hold their trust most sacred. When a major event goes this wrong and the communication is this bad, people start to look for other answers, and that lack of information is immediately filled with the most cynical explanations and the wildest things that people can imagine, because nobody's taking the time to address the actual concerns of the community. The Dress to Impress fiasco is a powerful and frankly disappointing case study. It's a perfect example of what happens when a team prioritizes a big marketing stunt over the people who built their game from the ground up. This community gave so much passion and love to this game. It's time for the developers to show that they can actually give something back to the players who helped build this game for them. It's important to hold the bad actors, the moderators, hell, even the developers, if they are responsible for any of the accusations that are being reported by the community, that you hold them accountable. It's even more important to remember that everyone that is listening to this right now, young or old, has the right and deserves to feel safe and respected in the online spaces that you dedicate your time to. Period. No excuses, no loopholes, whatever. If you are not made to feel safe in the games that you play online, the communities that you are a part of, and the people that run those communities are not doing enough to protect you, they don't deserve you, and they should be held accountable and fully responsible for their own actions, or lack of actions in this case. As such, Even though we're a smaller channel, I'm a dad. I have kids. I have all of you that I personally feel responsible for in this community that we've built. Even if it's smaller than some of these larger YouTubers with millions of subscribers and stuff, you guys look to me for answers. You guys look to me for a safe spot that you guys can play games in, that you guys can feel safe in, that you guys can come to when you have something that is bothering you. You guys don't come here to have your lives ruined or your innocence stolen from you by people online. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that that always stays the case, that you always have a place here, that you always feel safe here, no matter what. As such, we are making the announcement tonight that we will no longer be participating in Dress to Impress. We will no longer be playing the game because we do not feel like kids are being protected enough within the community. We do not feel like the people behind the game, not everyone, but a lot of them, care enough about the people that play their games to keep them safe. It's not acceptable to us, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. You deserve to feel safe. End of story. No matter where you are online. As a PSA, if you've made it this far in the video, if anybody under any circumstances makes you feel uncomfortable, whether it's in Discord, YouTube, text messages, real life, online, in any capacity whatsoever, tell an adult if you're young enough to need one. Tell the police if it's serious enough to warrant it. But don't ever feel like you're alone and that you have nobody there to protect you, because when the communities that we're in fail to protect us and we feel completely alone because the people that were supposed to be there to take care of us or the people we were supposed to feel safe with no longer make us feel safe, there are people out there that will help you and help you feel safe again. You deserve that at the very bare minimum. That's it. Love you, bye.